What's going on, YouTube? So we're looking at the big block heads here for the big block project, and I had a question for Viper Mech or Ziggy, and I was reading the instructions on the camshaft. It's a hydraulic flat tappet is what we ended up going with. These heads were done for supposedly a solid lift cam, mechanical solid lift. The springs look pretty not very stout to me. I mean, I haven't checked them as far as pressure goes, but when I was reading the instructions, they were asking to take the inner spring out, and this looks like a single with a dampener. So does that apply with this? Should I take the dampener out and just run the outer spring for the break-in period on the camshaft, or should I just leave the spring intact and run it with the damper if it's not a true double spring? I don't know if that's considered a double spring or just a single with a dampener, and if I should take the dampeners out. So if you see the video, maybe you can answer that for me, one of you guys. And then the other thing is thinking about taking these apart and just checking them out, looking at them, because the guy that did them was sort of in a hurry. It was like the last set of heads he did before he quit. So, but anyway, we'll probably pop these apart and maybe do a little bowl porting, a little cleanup in the bowl area, because I don't think that got done. It was supposed to, but they make a thing called a bowl hog, and I can see where it's they've done some machine work into the combustion chamber there, so they might have run the bowl hog in there, but we'll take them apart and take a look. And mainly I need to know whether I need to put that inner spring back in or just leave the outers, you know, for break-in. I got some sort of orange paint on them. I don't know if that means anything. And I got them from Competition Products. So I bought the valves, the springs, and the retainers. Well, I better watch out, cat. This head falls on you, it'll hurt as a package. And then my buddy Ron surfaced them for me and supposedly did a valve job and stuff. So I'll have to check it out, see what they look like, and clean them. They're not that clean though. I mean, they're not that dirty, but they're not clean, you know, see? Still got some paint. Looks like they've been hot tanked though. So anyway, that's where we're at with these. We'll probably pull them apart this afternoon, and I'll show you a video of them apart. And I guess I could check the installed height and take a spring down the scooters and measure the spring pressure. It says 120 to 30 pounds on the seat, and I think it was 240, 260 over the nose is what they were wanting. So I'll set that out of the way, get back to that. We've got the intake manifold out there, get that cleaned up, and get it ready. And then this is for John. He was looking at a aluminum case. I don't know what kind of motor you're looking to build. I do have this one here. It's all new stuff. This cam isn't new. This is a Berg 315 that Scooter gave me. You know, you can put whatever cam you wanted in. At this point, you'd have to clearance it or order it for a stroker assembly. But I'd be willing to sell this stuff if you want to buy it. Or you can get on Triangle and get whatever they got, because I don't know what you want to build. But this is a 90.5 case, and it's the super case. You know, it's got the solid behind number 3, 10mm studs, opened up for 90.5s. Full flowed. That's a 4130 chrome molly 82 crank with scat rods. And a good set of Coleman Schmidt bearings, not the aluminum crap. A new set of lifters. I got a new oil pump. I got all the stuff to put this together, and needs a little more clearancing. And that's it. Some rust cleaned off that cam because I clearanced it and was handling it. It's been sitting. So, but anyway, call me if you want that. You know, you got my number. And there it is again if you don't have it. But you can ride out and check that stuff out and touch it if you want, whatever you want to do. But we got this all done yesterday, so it looks good. A lot of guys did this with me, so that was really cool. And somebody wanted to know about this two-part, if it was flexible or not. And it does, when you touch it, it has a rubbery you know, it's sort of a rubbery texture, but it is catalyzed and it is guaranteed for lifetime repair. They generally use the 2-part, you know, at the better body shops, or, you know, they're doing an OEM repair, and they have to stand behind it. So it tends to be a little better quality than the single pack. You know, it's sort of a different market and a different price. This is a single pack in my hand, and it deteriorates and starts getting brittle. You know, I mean, given the car's 40 years old, you can't really, you know, complain. But in 40 years, you know, supposedly the 2K will be the 2K. We'll have to wait 40 years to see the, you know, the performance of it. But this stuff's been out for about 20 years now on the market, you know, and it does seem to hold up very well. The OEM uses it on their doors and different places, and they still do utilize some of the single stage sealers also. So we're going to address this a little more. The problem with this cowl panel on a Nova is the water drains in here, and then it runs down the cowl panel through these boxes and out the bottom of the car, supposedly. But there's a pretty good seam right in here, and the seam, the way the seam is, it's lap welded, you know. That's why we talk about not doing you know, flange welds and lap welds, because you get two panels that are overlaying each other, and the moisture gets between those panels and it makes rust. So what we're going to have to do here is we're going to get this all sanded up and cleaned up in here, and then I'll take the self-leveling and we'll flood this area with seam sealer, and it'll lay on this seam, and that will protect the water from getting to that seam and actually attacking the seam sealer from the back side. That's what happens. The water wicks through the seam back here, and then it works on this seam as it stays wet and deteriorates that factory seam sealer, and then it rusts in the seam. So if you have a car that's not rusted or you replace this, you really got to make an effort to seal the cowl. It's the trouble area, you know. That's where the problem is, not out here. It rusts from the backside out. So we'll put some self-leveling in there, fill that seam up. Its seam almost lays perfect right on the floor of the cowl box. So once you seal that up, it doesn't get penetrated by the water or the moisture. And even if you use one part in there, you know, it's better than nothing at all. I mean, if you stick your hand down in that cowl panel, you'll be able to pull the seam sealer off if there's any left at all. And same with over in this area, there's another seam right about here. And if you put your hand in there, that stuff just breaks off in chunks. And that's where you need to reach in and get that seam, because the water runs over the seam every time it rains. And that's what makes these cars rust really bad. So another good tip is if you can put that rust wand down in there and drag it through these boxes, you know, after you paint them. The only way to paint them is actually to, you know, pull the cover off, paint it, and then put the cover back on. The other alternative is to drag a wand through there to get, you know, good rust protection, because these are made to be wet inside. So yeah, you want to make sure the drains are open, you know, and if you rebuild the bottoms, it's real important to put the drains back in. But that's sort of like the sacrificial metal on a lower unit, you know. They're made to rust, and I think it was in the design. So this is pretty much ready for some paint. We're going to try to do that today. I got to try to get cracking on that bus. The weather's looks like it might take a break. I don't know. It's been raining here pretty non-stop, and it's supposed to clear up today, but I don't know. But we'll get it over here and get it knocked out and make that happen. So we got the head bolt soaking over here, getting that sealer off that they had on from the factory. I'm going to use my own sealer. And I said these were made in China, but they're not. They're actually made in the USA. As I read the package, couldn't believe it. So the motor, I assembled it. Well, some of it. Got the crank in there. Got the camshaft in there. I need to get the chain on there and degree the cam. And then we'll go ahead and put the pistons and rods in. Still waiting on the rings. So nothing happening there. And then of course we got the heads. I'm gonna have to pull the heads apart and take those inner springs out, I think, unless I get told differently. So I really probably got to take them apart anyway, because I want to do a visual before I start them, and make sure everything's cool in there, and because I didn't do them, and I had to redo the FE heads. I had them done, and they had to be redone. Not so much redone, but the valve job wasn't up to par. Nothing was lapped in, and you know, all the stuff that makes the motor fire up good. The goal is to get the motor to fire up right away. You know, you want it to start and be tuned when it starts, so it's not wiping all the break-in lube off the cam as you're cranking it, trying to get the thing running. So, you know, we want to hit the key and pretty much hold it at 2,500, 2,000 RPMs for 30 minutes and not worry about stuff falling off or seizing up during that period. So that's one of the hardest times on the break-in is breaking the cam, and it's sort of hard on the motor, you know. So we'll make the carburetor a little rich and make sure we got, you know, plenty of timing. A lot of people like to take timing out of it, and you'll see the headers just glow cherry red. So I'm going to give it a little timing so it's not burning up at 2,000 RPM for 30 minutes, and we'll probably shut it off and do it in a couple different cycles. So maybe on the stand, probably break it in out of the car for sure. We'll fire it up on the floor, or I've actually run them on these stands before. We might fire it up on that. So all right, let me shut this camera off, vac long enough, and we'll get to work. Let this one go up, and I'll get stuff cleaned up. I got to pick all this landmine tape up and clean up, scuff some stuff, and move some cars around, and get some stuff primed, painted, and stuff like that. So got plenty to do and no time to do it. So having a 2-for-1 special on black cats today. If anybody's interested, it's a blue light special. You know, just leave the comment down below. Really nice kitty cats. Got all sizes, shapes, and colors. So anyway, you guys have a good day. Tried to answer all the questions last night again. I'm going to try to get in the habit of responding to your comments. Adds a little more flavor to the video, and I think it's pretty cool. Some of those videos got like you know, 60, 70 comments on them, so really cool. Thanks for pushing the like buttons. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll come out here and try to give you guys a little content in a little bit here and get busy.